it is difficult. We do bring this to the government's notice, to the Home Ministry very often, but I think that there is some kind of overhype in this with the government. We do try to talk to them about it. This is for your information. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your comment. And I'd like to respond to the comment that JNTO should be more specific to promote Japan to Indian friends. And okay, I agree that we should be more specific and aggressive. But during my presentation, I firmly commit that Japan, put India as a very huge potential market from now on. Then we do very promote aggressively to promote Japan to Indian people. I firmly commit this one as well. And then for that, where to go, and how to go, and what to do, this kind of so-called issue will promote cooperation with the so-called private sectors from now. Yeah. And I firmly commit to that. But as for the comment for this seminar, as a first India-Japan Tourism Expo, I think this is a very, very fruitful and informative meeting, because we find out, okay, there's a so-called huge potential for two-way tourism, but still not enough. But we also understand what is the challenges we should be here. We know each other. And also to do that, we need a collaboration within the private sector and the public sector. And for this, and which I'd like to hear very, very glad that both sides have a strong intention to increase two-way tourism and also overcome the difficulty or challenges. As long as this kind of strong both side intention, we can easily achieve our mutual goal. But anyhow, as Mr. Commissioner Kubo mentioned, government side already facilitate to overcome this kind of difficulty, like a visa issue and security issues and so forth. But I strongly really ask so-called private sector, this is down to the private sector to collaborate each other to achieve this two-way traffic. Yeah, thank you very much.
Would anybody like, just to add on to the promotion part of it, I think one area that we could look forward to is the promotion of Japanese food. Cuisine plays such an integral part, even in the list of, I didn't mention the list over here. I think we really need to look at how we can promote Japanese food in India, which is right now perceived as a rich man's food. It is confined to very small numbers, only to 5-star hotels, because the availability of raw material is a big question mark. Getting the raw material at the right price is a big question mark. Could we look at promoting, Japanese weeks? Could we look at promoting Japanese months in various cities of Delhi? And you can really take this entire food movement forward, which is very, very large.
Okay, thank you for nice suggestion. As you know, Japanese food was listed intangible world heritage very recently. Then I like to promote Japanese food across the board. And also, there is some sort of a perception gap. As he mentioned, Japanese cuisine is very expensive. Okay, there is a very expensive cuisine there, but on the other hand, there is also affordable cuisine here. As I said, less than $10. You can get very fancy Japanese food. But also, I'd like to promote that kind of Japanese food here in India, which is an affordable Japanese cuisine. Thank you.
Anybody would like to raise any question? Okay, so one last question I have for the Japan is a very expensive country. I think that probably could be one major reason why we in India are scared of going to Japan. Because most of us like to, we believe in discounts and cheaper things. So if that particular image or impression could be addressed, I can see a large number of people going to Japan. Because even Scandinavia is very, very expensive. But lots of Indians travel to Scandinavia, I think, compared to Japan. So something, maybe there's something that requires to be looked into and change the perception. It could be a misperception because, as I said, Scandinavia and Japan may be equally expensive. And the other thing is, from HIS, when I met them for the first time, the Japanese travel companies in India, I would request them to reach out more. I respect the very private nature of the Japanese style of work, but they may consider reaching out a little more to the potential Indian tourists and be a little more visible.
Excuse me. My observation again, I can convince you that this problem, the number of shortage. And you were aware of the number of shortage, the number of shortage from Japan to India, whatever, the contrary into Japan may cause that not being prepared to the visa way for both of country. Always make problem in the visa. But however, I can convince you that again, that the embassy Japan be very, the enhance the improvement of taking visa more smoothly and operating much more by VFS. They be successful in a manner that more easy to get visa. However, from time to time, our customer, especially for the family, cannot take a visa. Even family. Most of us, 70,000 annual number of annual travel to Japan from India is, I believe, most of the business travel, not pleasure travel. Because of this reason why. So we need much more the understanding or enhancing the taking this into account more easy to get visa for the genuine travelers. We have experience, that for customers, Daddy, Mommy, Son, Son, even son that cannot take a visa. Then his father cannot go to the travel in Japan. That's an actual basis that I mentioned. So that's why Atsuyama-san, the president, that mentioned many times for tomorrow, discuss much more detail how much we can improve both countries for tourism industry. I expect much more good result advice accordingly.
I totally agree with you that this visa is a big hindrance for tourists to plan a visit to Japan. Can't the Japanese embassy look at clients who have long-term US visas, Australian visas, or UK visas? For them, the norms are much simpler to get the Japanese visa. A lot of countries go by this if you have long-term, and most Indians today have got 5 years, 2 years visas to UK, US. So at least for those clients, the visa regulations are much simpler. I'm sure it will encourage more and more people to go to Japan.
This is regarding the suggestion that you were talking about the tourists coming there. Well, I think that of late there's not that much of a problem for a Japanese visa. Secondly, the other alternative is that, if you have an onward visa, if you're transiting, then there are countries, who you can apply for a visa online and visit. We were on our way to Italy, and we were traveling with the Turkish Airlines, and people from Delhi airport, they took a visa for Turkey. And because we were in transit, we had about 10 to 12 hours to take on the other flight, and people would go out. Now my suggestion is, I have earlier worked for the GSA of Japan Airlines about 15 years ago, and there at that time I remember that because of transfer connections onto the US or to Canada, the people got a transit visa and they could go out. Similarly, as suggested by Mr. Prasad, that if the person has an ongoing visa, one way to keep the tourist is that if you can offer a short-term visa like 3 days or 2 days or something, that can attract the ongoing tourists to stay in your country for 2-3 days. That is a possibility which can happen. And there are a lot of Indians, even non-resident Indians or Indians who visit their relatives in the US and Canada. So I'm only reviving it because, as far as I remember, there used to be a lot of anxiety for people from India to go to Japan. The only thing I want to share now, I think that the other countries have been more aggressive in selling, like for instance, and that's why the public is more excited to go to these countries, for instance Dubai or something. I think that now with this exchange and meeting, and things should improve according to me if both sides are equally committed. Thank you.
多分私は40年以上この業界にいて、日本が海外旅行が成長してくるプロセスをずっと見てたんですけども、日本が90年の頭に海外旅行が1000万を超えました。その超えた時の一番のヒットは、多分アメリカのビザがなくなったんです。そしてダムやハワイにたくさんの人が行くようになった。これが日本が1000万に、海外旅行1000万に超えた時のポイントなんです。
Years. So personally speaking, I have seen the whole trajectory of how this industry has matured. So I'd like to share a point of view with you. In the early 90s, Japan hit the new high of 10 million outbound visitors. How it managed to do that is, I think one very big part was played by the visa waiver from the US. As soon as the visa waiver for the Japanese tourists happened, there was a deluge of people who began to visit Hawaii and Guam. That is one.
私は、インドの国の海外旅行を飛ばすためには、その国的には絶対的必要条件は、ビザの問題をまずこれが解決することがまず第一的に絶対必要です。2つ目の条件はですね、その年に90年にいた時前にはバブルだったんです。非常に生活が豊かになりました。それと海外旅行のですね、航空運賃がけたたましく安くなったんです。それはなぜかというと、ジャンボとかそういうものが一般化されて大型化して航空運賃が安くなりました。したがってハワイに行くお金も10年前、その90年の前の80年に比べると大体3分の1ぐらい下がった。そういうことがインドの中でも起こる必要があるんじゃないかと思って。したがって必要条件はビザを解禁すると。そして十分条件は航空運賃と、それからそういったこちらの国の生活のレベルを上げる。この2つが揃わないと海外旅行が急速に伸びないというのは歴史が証明しているので、多分どの国でも
spurt in the number of travelers from India. Let me also tell you a little bit about my experience as I saw in Japan. The 90s, the spurt in the Japanese travelers from the early 90s was preceded by the bubble in Japan. What the bubble did was bring great affluence and economic status to Japan. Coupled with this, the airfares also saw a fall. They fell because a lot of the large-scale aircraft like jumbos and so forth began to be used for general air travel. So the rise in affluence and coupled with the fall in the airfares resulted in airfares falling as much as 1/3. The airfare to Hawaii fell by almost to 1/3 of the price that it was in the 80s. Therefore, I think to just sum it up, visa of course is a logistical issue and has to be dealt with. But apart from that, if we want to see a spurt, an accelerated rise in the number of outbound tourists from India, then I think it needs to be coupled with a fall in the airfares to make it more affordable, together with a rise in the general lifestyle level across the nation. I don't think this is peculiar to India alone. This is probably the case worldwide, wherever you see a trajectory of economic development. And it should probably be the same in India for this to come true.
でそういうプロセスを経て日本は海外旅行をちょっと伸びてきました。したがって今お話したのは日本の中の話なのですぐにインドの中とは思わないけれども、インドの中で今お話しした必要条件と十分条件をですね、どういうふうに解決していくかということをぜひ議論してほしいです。
What I mean to say is that what I gave to you right now, the information is of course gleaned from my experience, my long experience in Japan. So saying that this is applicable as it is to India is obviously not true. However, I think that for India as well, if you want to see a surge in travel, then how do we address these logistical issues as well as the airfare issue? These are something that we need to be able to identify and discuss.
その答えが一つ ASEAN 諸国の中では現在、LCC 化率がもう 50% を超えてですね、もう多くの皆さんがその ASEAN の諸国の中を回っています。でそういう交流人口が増えたというのは、まずかこの 7,8 年ぐらいの話ですから、私はインドの潜在能力からすれば、そういうことを可能にする条件はすでに整っていると思うんですが、それをどういうふうにこれからプログラムを組んで前に出すかということが大事なのではないかなと思っているので、ぜひ我々としてもご協力もさせていただくし、支援もしますので、ぜひそういうところを検討していただきたいなと思います。
For example, to cite an example of ASEAN, already the LCC percentage in ASEAN countries has gone up to around 50%. And there's a lot of travel that's going around from ASEAN within and outside, together with an aging of the population. Similarly, I think in India, all the conditions that are required for a spurt in growth are already more or less in place. How we are able to tap into this potential growth and to realize it into actual figures is something that will depend on our discussions and actions going forward.
I think we already overshot because of the late start, and we now need to break for lunch. But my last little point is that I am now going to reveal the national secret of India to our respected guests from Japan as far as tourism is concerned. It is the great Indian film industry. The last film I can recall as a kid, and probably the only one which was made in Japan, was a film by the name of Love in Tokyo. After that, we haven't had any film being shot there, and in India, it's a bit of a mob mentality. Wherever the film industry goes, the rest of India lines up. I'll give examples of Switzerland, the UK, South Africa. They made very conscious attempts to offer the Indian filmmakers certain concessions to come and film there. And people here are crazy about cinema, so I can stick my neck out and almost assure you that if Japan started inviting some of the major Indian filmmakers there, you will see a fairly sizable spurt in Indians going to Japan. So on that note, we shall break for lunch. Please join us.
His Excellency Mr. Shigeto Kubo, Commissioner of Japan Tourism Agency, Mr. Ryoji Matsuyama, President Japan National Tourism Organization, Mr. Hiromi Tagoa, President Japan Tourism Bureau, distinguished members from Japanese and Indian travel trade, friends from media, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a great pleasure and honor to participate in this morning discussion of India-Japan Expo, and we have had a very interesting and fruitful interaction on promotion of two-way tourism between our two great countries. As you are all aware, tourism in recent years has developed into one of the world's largest industries and major engine of growth across the world. We have also recognized this, as I told in my morning presentation, that we recognize tourism as a major engine of growth in the country. Not only for economic growth, for employment generation and inclusive development of the country. For India, Japan is very important tourism source market. As was stated in the morning, during 2012, India received more than 2 lakh tourists from Japan, registering a growth of 13.7% over the previous year. However, there is a great potential for further growth in inbound tourism from Japan, and Ministry of Tourism has been undertaking a series of promotional activities in Japan through our India Tourism Office located in Tokyo to promote India as a tourist destination amongst the Japanese travelers. We had also organized road shows in Tokyo and Osaka in February 2013 in collaboration with the Indian Association of Tour Operators. The delegation from India for this road show was led by our Secretary, Government of India, and similar road shows are also scheduled to be held in March 2014. Recognizing the importance of this market, India has been providing tourist visa on arrival, as we stated in the morning, and last year approximately more than 6,000 tourist visas were issued on arrival to Japanese visitors. India and Japan have long enjoyed a long economic, political and historical relationship. To further develop and strengthen relations between our two great countries, Ministry of Tourism and Japan Tourism Agency will be entering into a memorandum of understanding for enhancing cooperation in the field of tourism tomorrow. The memorandum will be signed, which aims at creating an institutional mechanism to address the concerns raised in today's deliberations. I think the MOU which will be signed tomorrow will go a long way in promoting two-way tourism between India and Japan. Before concluding, I take this opportunity to thank Embassy of Japan for organizing this event and providing a platform for exchange of ideas in development and promotion of tourism between India and Japan. Thank you very much.
Inbound trade branding and promotion of the Japan trade agency. Today, I would like to introduce our promotion.
I mean, he must have given you oh, not this. Not mine. This is it. Everything is done. I'll give you mine. I'm here with some organization, some
こちらからは日本語で失礼させていただきます。
Please allow me to speak in Japanese from here onwards.
今、官房長が重点的に取り組んでいる日本人を切り口としたプロモーションにつきまして、本日は訪日プロモーション映像とともにお届けをさせていただきます。
I would like to do the Japan promotion that is visible
Japan promotion with a title that is called Nihonjin in Japanese, which means Japanese persons, Japanese, as the opening which we have adopted as the slogan for the promotion.
訪日プロモーションの作成にあたりましては、日本をよくご存知の外国の方々のご意見を取り入れながら、我々は Discover the Spirit of Japan という映像集を作成いたしました。
What you see here is Discover the Spirit of Japan. This is something which has been compiled on the basis of what information we have gathered from the Japanese, from the foreigners who had been residing or who had been knowing Japan very well.
Discover the Spirit of Japan の中で取り上げたものが訪日観光の3つの価値でございます。
In the Discover the Spirit of Japan, we are trying to put key values of tourism to visit Japan.
これは観光地日本を圧倒的な存在感と強豪国にはない独自の世界を持って海外の皆様にご紹介するためのものでございます。
This is meant exclusively for introducing to the people overseas regarding Japan something that is the feeling of presence in Japan as a sightseeing destination, and also something that is not available in the other countries, that is a very free world.
我々は3つの価値を 3C という形でご紹介をさせていただいております。前をご覧いただきたいんですが、日本人のキャラクター、日本人のクリエーション、そして日本人のコモンライフに焦点を当ててご紹介させていただきます。
Through this program, we are trying to focus on 3 basic elements of Japanese society or Japanese human being. These, if you look here, you will find 3 basic characters. That is the character of Japanese people, their creativity, that is the creation, and the common life, that means the way they live their day-to-day life.
それでは早速3つの価値より代表的な映像をご紹介させていただきます。
I would like to show a video here to give representative introduction of these 3 elements.
まずは日本人の気質をご紹介させていただきます。例としましては、2011年の大震災のような困難の時であったとしても、高い美徳や規律、シャイだけど皆さんに親切な思いやりの心を持った日本人の姿を表しております。そして今回は飽くなき好奇心と独自の世界を作り上げる気質についてご紹介させていただきます。
First of all, it's regarding the character. That is the first element which I had shown in the previous slide. This is if you look at the example of 2011 in the post-earthquake. Though it was a very tough period for Japan, but the virtue and the order that has been shown by the Japanese at large, though they are shy, but it was very important feeling that they could express. I would like to show this character through this video.
タイトルは Attention to Detail です。
This is attention to detail.
のご紹介がございました。
In continuation, we have the Japanese technology. We had discussions about the high tech, that is the bullet train, the Shinkansen of Japan also.
その新幹線や IC カードシステムの活用、また最新技術のハイテク駐輪場など、チームワークから生まれた日本の技術をご紹介させていただきます。
In the Shinkansen, certain things are already known to you. I would like to introduce here the IC card system, the application of IC card system, and also the high-tech bicycle stand that has used the latest technology, and this has come out of the teamwork. Let me touch upon the third element, that is the life, or some aspects of the life. In Japanese, there is a word called omotenashi, which means hospitality. And besides that, the importance the Japanese people give to the seasons, the 4 seasons.
紹介させていただきます。
Let me continue with the four seasons of Japan.
ちは和食も昨年無形文化遺産への登録でございました。本日は日本食についてもご紹介をさせていただきます。
In continuation to cultural world heritage, now let me show you something related to the Japanese flair cuisine, and I would like to tell you that the intangible culture, that is the intangible cultural heritage, that is the food, also got registered. Next, there are many tourist spots or visit worth places in Japan. Among the foreigners, one of the popular route is, this includes, the foreigners includes Indians also. It's called Golden Route. It's starting from Tokyo, going via Fuji-san, Mount Fuji, Kyoto and up to Osaka.
それではゴールデンルートの映像をご紹介させていただきます。
Please enjoy the Golden Route. you very much. And at the end, I would like to introduce the Tohoku, the northeastern part of Japan. This is one area which had the disaster, that is the Eastern Japan earthquake in March 2011, and where we received great help from India also. So thanking you for giving us that support. I would like to show this area to you. Thank you so much. The videos or the clippings which you saw just a while ago, these are few of the clippings. Many more are available.
今ご覧のこちらの URL で181本の日本の映像をお楽しみいただくことができます。
We have got a site called www.visitjapan.jp from where you can download 181 such sites for such videos.
皆さんもぜひ映像を通じて日本の魅力を感じていただき、そして日本へのお越しを心からお待ちしております。
I would like all of you to download or to see the videos from here, enjoy the video and to come to Japan.
Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nudan. I'd like now to open up a panel discussion on challenges of infrastructure, language, food, security, and connectivity. Participants include Mr. Chandrasekhar Jaiswal, DGM Maharashtra Tourism, Sri Arvind Jadhav, Additional Chief Secretary, Karnataka Tourism, Mr. Subhash Verma, President, ADTOI, Ms. Kuku Kumar, Director, IAAI, and a certain journalist from Japan. They are Dr. Sanjay Singh from Chhattisgarh, Mr. Vivek Mathur, Chandrasekhar Jaiswal, DGM, Maharashtra Tourism, and Mr. Subhash Verma, President of the ADTUI, Ms. Kuku Kumar, Director, IAAI. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me, please? Am I audible? Yes. Hello. Good afternoon, everybody. The subject of the discussion is, I assume you all have seen the program, is the challenges of infrastructure, language, food security and connectivity with reference to the India-Japan tourism traffic on both sides. That is, what are the challenges for both sides in terms of language, the infrastructure availability. I think that's more in the context of India, and food, that's again common. Security and connectivity, which I think probably are closer to the